Hi, I'm Joni Patry, and welcome to my YouTube channel. Well, today I'd like to talk about the month of October. And this is going to be a very exciting month, especially for me, because we are having our conference, Future of Astrology, here in Dallas, Texas. And this conference will be from October 5th through the 7th. And that weekend, we are going to be studying and looking at all the ancient astrological principles and how they relate to the future. This conference is going to be very special. It has a lineup of speakers that I'm very proud of, and everything that's presented at this conference is going to be new information. And yes, I'm going to give my 2019 and 2020 predictions. So if you are passionate about astrology, you won't want to miss this conference. So come to the conference. The website is futureofastrology.com. And so now let's look into the month of October, where I chose this month for the conference because of all of the exciting events that are going to be happening this month. First of all, Venus is going to go retrograde around October 5th and the 6th, which is the weekend of the conference. And I think Venus retrograde is very special because it really puts this focus into looking at relationships. Remember, when a planet goes retrograde, whatever that planet represents is what we are here to study, look at, and better understand. It becomes a major importance. Remember, when a planet goes retrograde, it's closer to the Earth. So its symbolisms, its meanings become more important during that time. So Venus will remain retrograde from about October 6th through November 16th. But it will stay in Libra between the months of September till January. So 4 months of Venus being in the sign of Libra is so important because Libra is all about relationships. And that's what we're here to learn during this period. Yes, when Venus goes retrograde, sometimes old loves come back. One way or another, you are being reacquainted with certain issues around love, romance, and opening the heart, and finding peace and making relationships work. It's everything to do about how we work in a relationship. And let me just say, we all need relationships in our life. We were not meant to live in a cave and meditate. We were meant to come together and to learn through each other. Whether we learn through our hardships, whether we learn through our difficulties with each other, relationships are a reflection of who we are. Other people mirror back the things that we need to know about ourselves. So talking about relationships, there are some exciting things where you could fall in love if you're looking for someone. This is the time. Uranus, which is in Aries. I know all the Western astrologers saying, oh, Uranus has just gone into Taurus. In my system, which is Vedic astrology, that I use the sidereal system, everything falls back about a sign. Not completely, but almost a full sign backwards. By the way, did you know that the brilliant psychic of the 20th century, Edgar Cayce, in one of his trance medium sessions, said that Western astrology, he called it Persian, which was the astrology of the West, was off by almost a full sign. So that's a big wake up. And don't forget that when we're talking about sidereal placements, they're the true placements astronomically. This is different than Western tropical astrology. So in my book, Uranus is still in Aries, and it is opposing the stellium of Jupiter, Venus, and Mercury this month. And during this time, when we have Jupiter and Venus and Mercury all in the sign of Libra, this is what's called a Saraswati yoga. Saraswati is the goddess of learning and education and the arts. So we have Jupiter, Venus, and Mercury Saraswati, together in Libra, but Uranus opposes it. And so this brings out some odd, unusual, amazing things. And I think some of the things will be inventions, but vast new creations in the area of music, in the area of film, movies, theater, and also art. So anything to do with the arts will come out, and I think it's going to get a much bigger, better respect than it had before, because, you know, some of the schools were lessening their programs when it comes to the arts. But the arts are here to stay. And in Libra, which is the sign of artistic beauty, there's going to be more and more appreciation for the arts. And this is the time to get creative. If you've been putting off taking those art classes, if you've been putting off writing that book, it's the time to get creative. So look into this period for being more creative. You're going to see some amazing things. Plus, Venus being in Libra is all about finding peace and unity. People are learning to come together, and there's a lot of new things, I think, that are coming out with agreements, contracts. Uranus, as it opposes Mercury, and Jupiter and Venus. I think there's going to be a lot that changes with the trade wars, with the different taxes and things that are happening all around the world globally in the area of trade, because this will change this month. There's going to be some agreements, because Mercury with Venus, Jupiter, is all about coming to agreement. Now Uranus is going to be opposing Venus, and actually the time that Uranus opposes Venus, there's going to be some exciting events. And I think that there could be something involving chance meetings, meeting someone that you didn't expect. And of course, this deals in the area of love. So when I look at this Uranus with Venus, this is an exciting time to meet someone. So if you've been putting off, you know, going out to parties, social events to meet people, now is the time. So I want this to be the time that you open your heart, because it's the best time for that. So there's another big event that's happening right before, though. Jupiter will shift, by the way, October 11th into the sign of Scorpio, where Mercury is going to transit with Jupiter. So Mercury, Jupiter will be together in Scorpio. And what this is all about is Mercury with Jupiter is always a visionary. It's giving someone vision, and it gives clarity of mind, being able to see the future and being able to make plans. And it's a great time to sign those contracts if you've been putting that off for a while. So Jupiter being in the sign of Scorpio, wow, this is where it first comes into Scorpio. And I know everyone that has planets in Scorpio has been long awaiting this relief, because Jupiter in Scorpio will make people be more optimistic, happier. That is people that have planets in Scorpio. So this is an exciting thing. Plus, it gives more passion, because Scorpio is such an emotional sign. So I know that there's going to be new events with emotions, with passion, and the economy. That's another thing. That's due to change with Jupiter's transit into Scorpio. Some of the stock market will go up, some will go down. And my predictions are that the oil and gas, the prices are going to go up. This is basically a good thing for some people, but for others, it's going to make the fuel prices go up at the gas station. And this will probably affect any of the businesses or stocks that are oil dependent, such as travel, transportation, because the fuel costs will increase. But for many of those in Texas, which I have some major predictions that I'm going to give at this conference, it's going to be, the fuel prices go up. Things are going to prosper in in West Texas and all of Texas and any of the areas that are dependent upon fuel and oil as their business. So that may make some of you unhappy, but everything will balance out, because you know what? Venus does create balance while it's in Libra. And there's going to be a lot of treaties and things that are going to come together where there's going to be more peace in the world that will escalate. So another aspect that's been long-standing that has really caused a lot of havoc in the world is Mars has been with Ketu ever since May. And they're due to stay together for 6 months. And actually, Mars will be with Ketu in the same sign, sidereally that is, till around November 7th. So the whole month of October, we're looking at Mars with Ketu in Capricorn. Now, Mars loves to be in Capricorn. It's exalted in this sign, so it's exceedingly strong. And this does help certain sectors of the economy. I think building things, getting things back together, government, there's going to be incredible changes in the government. Why? Because Capricorn rules government. So laws are dissolving, laws are changing. And I think the laws are changing so that businesses can start, and that there's going to be more upstart businesses due to the power and the opportunity of Mars traveling in the sign of Capricorn. But with Ketu being with Mars, there is a breakdown of a lot of the businesses that are relative to the government. The government is changing. The laws are changing. Yes, it opens up small businesses and opportunities, but it's got a long ways to go. And there's a lot of rebuilding that must take place, such as roads and highways and bridges, things like that. This will be a positive because Mars in Capricorn is building more of this. Now, real estate's going to be fine for a while. I know a lot of people are waiting for that big drop. It's not going to happen anytime soon. So be aware that this is it's a volatile market, of course, all the way till next March of 2019, when Rahu and Ketu shift into a new sign. Rahu will go into Gemini and Ketu will go into Sagittarius. When this happens, that's where you're going to see the major flux in the economy. But for now, it's going to be up and down. And there are opportunities in that. And yes, I am a big proponent of cryptocurrency, and I believe while Venus is in Libra that it's going to do well. And I made the prediction a while back that when Venus went into Libra, that the XRP Ripple would go up in price, and it has. So a lot of those who love cryptocurrency do not like Ripple because it works with the banks. It's not the free, open, not dealing with any of the rules. Ripple's trying to work with the banks, and yes, it's doing very well, and it is a good investment. So, and remember, I'm not an expert on giving advice financially, but I'm an expert on astrology and I see cycles. Okay, so here's another thing. Since we're looking at all of these, I want to give you some dates. So October 30th is when Venus opposes Uranus. So this is the time when love and relationships open. You could meet someone. It's an exciting time. It also might have its problems though with air travel, since we're talking about these air signs, but realize that there's a chance meeting. Now, another date is October 28th. That will be when Jupiter is conjunct Mercury, and it's a good time for travel. It's a good time to open up and see the world from a different perspective. I often say that there is so much to come with inventions this year, especially inventions that deal with space and the understanding that there is something beyond here that we are here to learn. And this is the year it's going to happen. I'm going to make some really profound predictions at my conference that I have never made before. And the only place that people are going to hear this is going to be at my conference. But let me just say, everything is going to change in certain areas, especially in our belief systems. It will shift dramatically, and the world will not be the same after this. Everything is going to break down and change. So the most important aspect of what I feel like you should take home with this, from what I have to say, is the fact that Venus in Libra is teaching us all about relationships, and relationships that deal with commitment and loyalty. This is what we're here to learn, because this is the most exciting time for relationships. And let me just say another one of my favorite sayings. It comes from the Course in Miracles. And it is, would you rather be right, or would you rather be happy? The fact is, so many people feel they have to be right. And in the essence of having to be right, what that really tells you about a person is their insecurity. Because if you come from a place within that you feel love and security within your heart and soul, you will not have to prove anything to anyone. And that's what people do when they feel the need to be right. And when you feel the need to be right, you can't have a loving relationship. And people that come from a place of condemnation, criticism, fanaticism, particularly in religion or politics, it's all about them having to be right, which all comes from what? Fear. And from the Course in Miracles, the principle is that the Course in Miracles teaches that there's only two emotions in the world. There's fear and there's love. And anytime you come from a place of fear, it's not going to work. Whenever you have a question whether to do something, you must ask yourself, am I coming from a place of fear or love? And immediately you will know. Because when you come from a place of love, that's where you're going to create your happiness in this world. And most of all, have happy relationships. And in order to be happy and content, to feel the essence of love that emits from our soul and is reflected back to us from others and those that we love in relationships, this all comes from a sense of love. And anyone who projects any kind of fanaticism or is always coming from a place of fear. And that is the opposite of love. So with that, I want to say this month, the saying that comes to me is a return to love. That's what this whole month is about. Feeling, accepting, loving, coming together. This will be the most beautiful month with these sentiments involved and coming from a place of being creative, opening to the world. So with that, I'd like to close. I hope that you'll come to the conference, which again is held here in Dallas, futureofastrology.com. And if you want a written transcript to know more about what I've been talking about, you can go to my website, which is galacticcenter.org. It is under predictions. I have all of this written out. And of course, I have a magazine I want you to know about that has incredible artists from astrologers around the world, Vedic astrologers, and that is astrologicmagazine.com. So I hope to see you soon here in Dallas. And with that, we will have a blast, and I'd love to meet you. Thank you.